Everybody, I'm here to demonstrate our QuickStats query tool, which is the source of all the which is where you can find all the data NASS publishes, including from the organic survey. One of the things you need to know is you see a whole screen of choices you can make. You can make the choices of what you want, where you want it, and when you want it in any order. You don't need to choose sequentially as you go through these screens. And that makes it a little easier actually to find the organic data because you can make a few choices that are going to limit you to choices where the organic data is. One of the things you need to know about QuickStats and the organic data is all the organic data is under the census program. So if you're just interested in organic data, the first thing you should choose will be the census button. Then it helps to know when we've conducted organic surveys. The most recent survey you've heard a lot about in this webinar is from 2021. So that may be a natural choice of where to start if you're looking for organic data. We also conducted a survey in 2019 as well. So you have a lot of choices when it comes to organic data. If you're unsure when an organic survey was conducted, you can find that information on our NASS website. So let's say you're interested in all the organic data from 2021, but you're just interested in a national perspective. You want to know every single organic item that was published in the 2021 survey. So once you've chosen census, you'll need to know the year. As I said, we're going to put all the data for 2021. And once you make that choice, it's going to limit the selection in the other buttons you can choose from. One of the things to know about QuickStats is you can only bring back 50,000 data rows at a time. And you have a handy little tool up in the right-hand corner that says status. And when it's green, you know you've limited your query to an amount that will bring back data. Again, 50,000 rows, it looks like there were 33,460 rows available for surveys published under the census program in 2021. And you can see your geographies are national and state. Here's where you can make a choice. You can choose just the national data if you want, or you could choose a specific date. For now, I'm just going to demonstrate pulling the national level data. And once I make that choice, you'll see limits, other limits appear. And the other thing to know about is you don't have to make choices in any of these other fields. As long as you're under 50,000 rows, it will let you pull back all the data. You don't need to pull back. You don't need to make a choice of sector or group or commodity. This is going to give you all the organic data published at the national level in 2021. So once I make sure that my query will work, the status bar is showing green, I can just click on Get Data. And you'll see a variety of data items. You can see what commodities are available, what data items are available, and the domain. If you're just interested in organic data, all our data is stored with the domain of organic status, and sometimes as an additional domain with that, like organic status and area operated, for instance. So this can be a little clumsy to work with. You don't know necessarily what data items are here. But this is all the national data published from the most recently conducted organic survey, the 2021 organic survey. So as you can see, you have a lot of columns. You'll have a lot of data items. Here's the value. If you're working with a large data set like this, it's about 1,500 rows. One of the easiest things you can do is save it in a spreadsheet. So that's usually what I'll do if I just want to explore a data set. I'll pull back, a somewhat large data set in QuickStats. I'll save it to a spreadsheet, and it will automatically save as a CSV. It does look like that's the only choice, but a CSV file will usually open up in Excel. Just remember to save it as an Excel file later on. So in this particular browser, I just click save. It's going to save to a download folder. You can also choose a different folder, of course, to save it to. Click save, and then you can just open up the file. And it's going to open up into an Excel file, which you can manipulate in whatever type of program you want. So let's get back and we can look at that file later on. So that's an example of pulling back a lot of data at once. You just want general organic data. You don't know specifically which item you want, but you can use the search functions, the limit functions, etc. in Excel to see what kind of data is there. All the data here is, it will tell you sort of the metadata about it. You're in the year you're getting the data for, what geographic level the data is for, the commodity, and the particular data item you want. So the key concept here you'll want to look for is your data item and then a domain category. That describes the data. You can see we have values and we also publish a CV. A CV is a measure of statistical precision. For each data item, it's expressed in terms from 1 to 100%. So that's an example of pulling back a lot of organic data. You may not want to do that though. You may be interested in just one particular organic commodity. Let's, for instance, say you're interested in organic milk. You want to know how much milk was produced, what prices producers received for producing that milk. You want to know which states were most important for organic milk production. You can make those limits in the QuickStats query tool and get to that data pretty quickly. So let's go back to the QuickStats homepage. If you're unsure of what you had limited before, one of the things you can do is hit clear and start from the beginning. So let's say I'm interested in organic dairy milk, particularly in organic milk from cows, right? So I would just choose census. And this time I want to know, how has the market changed in the last 2 years? So I could look at the last 2 years of the organic survey from 2021, and then I just hit Control, like you would in any Windows application, and click 2019 as well. And then I get some other choices. So I need to know, what am I interested in? I'm interested in, say, the national and state level. A little tip when working with organic data: no organic data is published with a regional level, so that's a choice you can just eliminate. So just pull back the national and the state level data. And then I can make some choices. I can either go directly to the commodity if I know, what that commodity is in QuickStats. I could just look at the group if I just know, oh, it should be under dairy, or I think it may be under livestock. Just in this case, milk is stored under the dairy group. So I'm going to click on dairy. And then, of course, then I'm going to be able to limit it even further. I'm going to choose milk as a commodity. And then you can actually see, I talked about dairy milk from cows, but you can also see the census, the organic census also collects milk from goats as well. But let's just look at the organic milk from cows. You can see the items available are the number of farms that sold the organic milk, the amount of milk sold in terms of dollars, and then the amount of milk sold in terms of sales. So let's just pull back these 3 items. Just click. I check my status bar to make sure I have a manageable number of records. And then I just click Get Data. And I've pulled back results. You can see I have national level, farms. I have national level sales and then national level production. And you can see that each data item is on a separate row of this particular data set. But let's say I want one row for each of the geographies I've chosen. The QuickStats query tool has a feature that allows you to put all the items for one geography on the same row, as long as you don't have too many items. So if you right click on data item, you can say pivot by data item. That's going to allow you to pull back the data so that each particular value for the region, say national geography or each of the individual states, is on one row. So now you can see which states had the most dairy operations. Each of these columns is sortable. So let's see if we can sort by this column. It may not work when you're in a pivot, but you can easily put the data in a spreadsheet, for instance. One of the other things you can do is save your query if you want to be able to refresh this later on, say after another organic survey. So if you click the Save button, one of the things it's going to do is ask you for a name for your data set. And we could just say organic data, click Next, and it's going to give you a URL. And say you said you found this organic milk data and you wanted to share it with a colleague or a friend. All you would need to do is copy and paste this URL, and you can just send that in the mail. And once your colleague opens that URL, they should be able to see exactly what you saw in QuickStats. So that can be useful if you want to share. So one of the things we know many people want to do when they're looking at the organic data is not pull back just the organic data, but conventional data for the commodity as well. So I'm going to show you a demonstration of something that I know we produce a lot of in the organic sector, as well as the conventional sector. So for the example today, I'm going to show you how to pull organic data and conventional data for a single commodity, in this case, corn. You know, corn is a field crop, so you could choose corn out of the group, but you could also, or field crops out of the group, but you could also go directly to the corn data by just looking in the commodity list and scrolling down till you see corn in the list. It's all alphabetical, and you can see all the different things data is available for. Just scroll down until you see corn. Now, one of the easiest ways to find, we publish conventional corn in so many different ways. We have limited data of items available for organic corn. So the easiest way to focus on finding data you can compare between the conventional and organic markets is to choose particular data items and to choose a particular year. Let's just look at corn data available, and the latest organic corn data is from the 2020 survey. So let's choose that time, 2021. And then let's say we want to know all the national and state level data, because we know for the organic survey, we only publish at the national and the state level. So that's going to limit the number of items you need to scroll through. So then how do we go about finding their data for both organic and conventional corn? You're going to start in the data item box. And one of the easiest ways to start is by looking for the organic data items. Just scroll through the box and you're going to be looking for a keyword organic. And most of the corn data is available both for corn for grain and corn for silage, but let's look for the most common use, which is corn for grain. You're going to scroll. Here is the corn for grain. That's going to be your conventional corn, but let's scroll through and see what data items we can publish for organic corn, so we can go ahead and match that for the conventional corn. And you see, these are the particular data items we publish for organic corn. We publish acres harvested. Again, just use your control button. Operations with sales, the number of farms selling corn, production measured in bushels, and sales measured in dollars. So let's go up and find those same data items for conventional corn. So I just go up till I see corn for grain. I see that same acres harvested. I will note that I forgot to say we don't publish operations for conventional corn by year, so we're not going to be able to choose that. But we do publish production measured in dollars and production measured in bushels. So now we have comparable data items for both the conventional and the organic market. And let's go ahead and check our status button. We see that we have about 600 records. And then once we're clear, we have a manageable query. We just click Get Data. And we pulled back all the data. You can see we have the organic data listed first. And we can go ahead and look through and see the look and see what we got for the conventional data. We have that as well. One of the things you could do is if you want to compare at a state level, you could pivot, for example, on the state or the data level. Or you could just pull this data into a spreadsheet and manipulate it there. You know, there's lots of ways to use the data, whatever, you know, might suit you best. In conclusion, I just wanted to go over a few topics we covered today. The way you find organic data is by going either to our organic publication, but if you want to use the data in analysis, it's usually easier to have it in an electronic format. The way you're going to get that data is by, again, going to our QuickStats data query tool, where we have all the data from all our programs, the organic program, and every other program NASS conducts. You can choose a variety of things from the various different menus. Remember, you can go to any of these buttons in any order. You don't have to make selections sequentially. You can also go to the help menu and review some quick tutorials about how you use QuickStats in general. Also, you can reach out to any of us at NASS. We would be happy to help you with any questions or issues you're having using QuickStats and point you links to the data you're looking for. So again, if you have any questions or you're not able to find the data you're looking for, contact one of us at NASS and we'd be glad to help you finding the organic data in QuickStats.